Hi everybody, welcome back to another video of the Play Up Here channel. So we promised a Q&A at 10,000 subscribers, which we hit a couple days ago. We cannot believe that we already hit 10,000 subscribers that fast. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with some questions that we've been asked from various different videos. So our first question was from Diana Alex Daniel, and her question was why we went vegan.
So this could probably be a whole nother video in and of itself, but we'll try to keep it short. So do you want to go ahead and start with why you went vegan, or?
Yeah, so I want to say I was finally exposed to what happens in the dairy industry and how animals are treated, to from the farm to how it gets put on the shelves at the store. So it wasn't any one person that had come up to me and was like, hey, do you know what you're eating? It was more so Cody was like, hey, I want to watch this documentary, which I believe we watched Earthlings and Cowspiracy.
Earthlings is a huge one.
And after watching that, I was absolutely, honestly sick to my stomach. I couldn't believe that that's what happens. It's not really behind closed doors because you're just not thinking about it every day. And like we've said before, we were not obviously born and raised vegan. This happened in our mid to late 20s. So I was actually a vegetarian for 9 months after that. And I was still consuming eggs and dairy. And finally, I was further educating myself on the dairy industry, and it made me sick. So I finally was like, you know what, I'm going vegan for them. So
yeah,
that's why I went vegan.
Yeah, mine's pretty simple, guys. I mean, and similar, right? I just literally, like, it was kind of a gradual thing, but at one point on like one day, we look at I look at our furry companion Nala girl and realize, look at her eyes and be like, if I wouldn't eat you, why am I eating another animal, right? It's just I realize that it's not necessary. There's no point of continuing to eat animals and animal products to thrive and live a great life. Like, you just don't have to do it. So when I realized that, I again watched Earthlings and made those connections. I just started. I had this like overwhelming guilt every time I would have animals on my plate, or animal products, and knowing that I didn't have to do that, didn't have to contribute to any extra unneeded killing or violence, right? So just made the conscious decision to align our eating habits with our own morals within ourselves. And once I did that, I just felt this overwhelming weight lifted off my shoulders, like I was finally eating in alignment with my morals, and not causing any extra unneeded harm that didn't need to happen. So that's pretty much it. I just had that realization and that connection, that it just didn't need to happen. So
all right,
that's pretty much it.
Next one is from Mateo Rodriguez. His username ends in 7209. Are you on TRT, and were you able to recover your natural hormone levels after you had taken PEDs?
Yeah, no TRT. I luckily was able to recover my own natural production. I've talked about this in the other video as well, that I used PEDs for a couple years on and off. So I'm guessing that, coupled with my age, is why I was able to recover my own natural production. I'm sure that also comes down to genetics as well. But no, I'm not on TRT. And the last time I've ever taken anything was back in 2019.
So the next question is from Coach Princey. Are you able to achieve gains at 100 grams of protein?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, in the fitness world, they lead you to believe that 100 grams of protein is not that much, but that's a lot of protein. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to gain some good, appreciable muscle mass on that amount of protein. Yeah, you might not be a professional IFBB pro bodybuilder on stage with that amount of protein, and then you also have to know that your calories need to be in check, right? You need to be eating enough overall food, and then your training needs to be on par. So to me, for the everyday person who's just looking to gain some good muscle size, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to make some good progress on 100 grams a day.
Yeah, if you're putting your muscles through resistance training and it's programmed properly, then 100 grams of protein is
Yeah,
going to get you what you need.
you could probably even do less, right?
Yeah.
But so
Next question is from Adam O. Involution. Um, do you have so it's how did you manage to lean out your stomach so well? You have no major sagging skin, you're lean and tight, which is impressive.
lean and tight. Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for calling me lean and tight. But I guess so. That's the question. There is no sagging skin. I think it comes down to, so I was obviously 270 plus pounds at one point, and for multiple years I was over 250 pounds. I think it probably comes down to, I say multiple years, but maybe what, 3 or 4 years, I would
Yeah,
say,
if
over the
that.
course of that. So
Yeah.
I wasn't that big for that long, right? And coupled with my age and the amount of elastin that's still in my skin or was in my skin allowed me to not have sagging skin when I lost the weight, thankfully, right? And I think that does also come down to genetics too, with how your body decides to store fat and get rid of fat too. Obviously, you can't spot reduce body fat. It's just you're going to lose it where your body decides to lose it from. So I think that kind of answers the question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody's one of those lucky people that were genetically blessed to not carry a lot of stomach weight. Whereas someone like me, I'm like your typical upper arms, upper thighs, and stomach area, which is equivalent to my mom and her side of the family. We all carry weight in that spot. So
Yeah.
for one of us to be lean like Cody, it would take a lot of work. And yeah,
Well,
a
first,
high caloric
yeah. Well,
deficit.
first off, I would never suggest like
Yeah,
a
no.
female get super super lean, like to where your abs are showing. Like that's gonna probably be pretty tough on the female body for sure. So yeah, like she said, genetics play a big role in it too. I'm not gonna sit here and say they don't. Obviously, I do work my butt off and work really hard, but at the same time, genetics play a big role.
Next question is from Kevin Mallory at 3040. Do you train fasted?
I have. I don't all the time. If we're talking just training in general, including running, then yeah, because I do most of my running in the mornings right when I wake up, basically, and I don't really like to eat right before that. So I do train fasted when I go run. When I do my resistance training, it's mostly in the later in the evening, so like right before dinner. And by that time of day, I have already had a couple meals in me at least normally. So I've done both. I've done resistance training completely fasted as well, and I like it. I like both. I really do. I don't mind either. I don't feel worse or better either way per se. I mean, maybe I would lean towards having a little bit of food in my system. I do probably maybe tend to have slightly better workouts that way. So, and that's probably why I do that. Why I choose to resistance
Mm-hmm.
training later on in the evening when I have a couple meals in me. So.
Yeah, I just noticed that like when I would go to the gym early in the mornings, like at 5:30 in the morning with nothing in my system, not even caffeine was going to hit my system by the time I got there. I just was super tired and my the end of my workouts was great, but the beginning of my workouts just felt trash. I wasn't fueled to do it even if I ate a lot the night before. Um
Yeah.
Whereas now that I'm working out in the afternoons after work, which you get off work and you're kind of tired, but at least I have two meals in me where I feel fuel to get through it. So,
Yeah, it's very individual, right?
yeah.
So do try both ways and see what feels best for you. But then also, it doesn't have to be the same every day or every workout. I mean, if you need to work out early in the morning and can't get a meal in, just do what you got to do.
Yeah. Next question comes from Glorious5483. What is your height?
I am 5'10". I think I used to be probably closer to 5'11", but I almost think the years of heavy barbell lifting with a 600 pounds plus on my back might have squished my spine a little bit and shrunk me. But yeah, I'm 5'10".
And I'm 5'2".
Five
I'm very
two.
short. Okay, from Ite Gutman 3838. How do you get rid of the obsession that more is better? And how do you overcome being afraid that if you cut your volume in half, you're going to lose what you've got.
Overcome more is better. So yeah, I mean that's something that I think we all probably struggle with. We all think more is better, but I think you just got to experiment and try it out. Try a little bit less and see what happens. Odds are your quality of your sets are going to go up, and you're probably going to actually experience more progress that way. So don't be afraid of cutting your sets down a little bit. I think what was there another section of that?
Like if you were to cut your volume in half,
Oh,
again, he would be afraid of losing what he's got.
yeah. So don't. I mean, there's tons of like research out there that shows how little it takes to even maintain, which is not a lot. So just by cutting it in half, again, you're probably actually going to get better quality sets and maybe even experience some progress that way. So don't worry about it, but experiment and see for yourself.
Next question is from Andrew Keen 3366. Are you still doing your workouts as sets for each exercise, or are you now doing them as a circuit instead?
I mostly do just straight sets. I'll choose an exercise and I'll do all the sets that I'm going to do for that day of that exercise, like back to back to back with rest in between. But if there's days where I know I'm pressed for time and we have to go somewhere later in the evening and I need to get a workout done in 15, 20 minutes or whatever, yeah, I mean, I'll do some supersets with push-ups and pull-ups back to back, more of a circuit style training, and then knock out some a leg movement. But for the most part, just straight sets. What about you?
I prefer to do mine as straight sets because if I do circuit training, then my last couple reps, they're either rushed or they're not good quality. So I'd rather have good quality reps and sets and then move on to the next thing so that I know each week that I'm progressing properly instead of rushing it. But that's just my personal
Yeah,
preference.
yeah,
So
she said it perfectly. That's exactly why I like to do straight sets too. I feel like I just get better quality sets that way.
this next question comes from Santiago. His username is sfriends44. May I ask you if you take any supplements these days or you purely rely on food/nutrition?
What's up, Santiago? Thanks for the question. So as far as vitamins and minerals go, I just take a B12 dropper a couple times a week, like Mondays and Thursdays. I take a full dropper of a B12 supplement, and I've taken multivitamins and like omega supplements in the past, but I just don't do that anymore. Mainly just for the factor of not wanting to spend any more money. But just a B12 for me when it comes to vitamins and minerals. What about you?
I do for vitamins and minerals, B12. I'll do an omega-3 supplement that comes from an algae source, and then vitamin D and K. I think it's D2 and K3.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
It'd be K2.
K2,
Yeah.
sorry. But those are from, yeah, a
All
dropper.
vegan
Yeah.
sources from a dropper. She does omegas and stuff, whereas I don't stress too much on that supplementation side of things because I do pretty well at consuming ground flaxseed and some walnuts pretty much every day, and that's a good source of ALA converting into your omegas. I know there's debate on whether or not that converts properly, blah, blah, blah. I'm not too stressed about it. So that's why she supplements with a little bit more.
And then what about like protein? Because I feel like when we first went vegan, we got asked probably over 100 times of how are you going to get enough protein on a vegan diet? But there's plant-based proteins, but also there are plenty of plant-based proteins that you can eat, like tofu, tempeh. You can make your own seitan, legumes. I mean, am I missing any of the
There's
major
tons.
ones?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's protein
it's
in everything. So
yeah.
I do like to throw in a little bit of a vanilla protein powder, vegan protein powder in my oatmeal in the mornings because it makes my oatmeal taste amazing. It maybe adds 15 or so grams of protein to my total day, but I just think it makes my oatmeal taste amazing. But there's plenty of days where I'll go without a protein powder. That's almost not even a supplement. That's like a food because it is.
Yeah.
It's I think the protein powder I use is like pea protein, pumpkin seed protein, things like that. So it's like whole food type of situation in powder form. But yeah,
Next question comes from Warner72. Um, you probably go and get comments from people saying you're becoming or have gotten skinny. And this is in relation to Cody's video where he was showing that he was 275 and now he's 175. So I think it's just asking kind of how you dealt with that once people seen you and just sharing like your experience.
Yeah, just shrug it off. Honestly, it was kind of hit the ego a little bit in the beginning, like years ago when people would see me and be like, "Oh, you're so skinny now. You're so tiny." Blah blah blah. But like, and it would mess with me for a little bit because I had that identity that I was the bigger guy, right? But once I just kind of shed that identity, which took a while, it doesn't bother me anymore. I get a lot of it from obviously friends and family that maybe haven't seen me or just were used to seeing me as a larger individual. But yeah, how I dealt with it was I just I just laugh about it and say, yeah, that was me a while ago. Now this is me.
What's crazy is that like obviously I haven't known Cody my whole life, but from what 20 late 2016 to 2025, so we're almost at 10 years of knowing each other, that he was in that 220, 240 plus for the first what, like 3 years of our relationship, and then you basically looked like you've been around this weight that entire time. So for me, I don't think of him as being that big guy. Like I guess people from his past would. They've seen him, through his whole life. So it's just
Yeah,
funny when people say that, "Oh, you're so skinny," where I'm like, "No, he's not.
yeah,
He's normal."
it is
But
what it is.
okay, the next one's from the B2685. Do you eat pasta, and if so, how often?
Go for it.
So I go through cycles of pasta where I will eat it, like I'll eat spaghetti with some homemade tomato sauce for a week or longer,
She
just
makes
because.
amazing spaghetti sauce or
And
tomato
then
sauce.
in the summer, I like doing a lot of pasta salads. It's super easy to take over to like a picnic or something with friends and family. So we do eat pasta. It's not a every week staple. I more so go through cycles of it, but I absolutely love it. I don't shy away from it at all. What about
Yeah,
you?
I eat a lot more rice and currently quinoa than I do pasta. But yeah, there's plenty of weeks where I'll go every single day eating pasta for lunch, where I'll have like a lentil pasta or chickpea pasta. So, was the question like, how do you eat it while staying lean, or just do we eat it?
Um, yeah, while staying lean, and if so, how often?
It's a calorie equation, guys. While staying lean, that comes down to calories in, calories out. As much as it sucks to hear, you can't beat thermodynamics. It's a thing. Um, so you gotta just control your overall calories. So if you're gonna eat a lot more carbs, then you might need to bring maybe your fats down a little bit, and vice versa. So just kind of play around with it like that. But yeah, we don't shy away from pasta. That's for sure.
I think if you're trying to look at it from trying to squeeze it into your diet, maybe just consider a tomato-based sauce instead of a like a cashew cream sauce or something that has a lot of fat in it. That way you can get more pasta because it's higher carbs. And if your sauce is super fatty, then of course it's going to feel like you're squeezing it into your diet. But if you make a couple substitutions, you can definitely eat a lot of pasta.
Good
So.
point.
Next question is from Ronnie Townsend,
What's up,
8310.
Ronnie?
So, pull ups. I never see you add weight or do advanced variation or high volume. So, how do you progress them?
So yeah, definitely don't do high volume because most of the time I do about like nine hard working sets per week of pull ups and my main compounds. But I do add weight to my pull
Mhm.
ups from time to time. So yeah, I add weight. I try to work hard on each set, and you're probably going to hear a bunch of click clacking because our dog Nala is walking into the frame now.
Hi,
So sorry about
baby.
that sound. She's got some nails on the hardwood, but she's just interested at what we're doing right now. Hi, baby. So yeah, I mean, does that answer the question? I
Yeah.
do weighted versions. As far as progressions, I'm not one to write things down and try to beat it every week type of thing. I just go into my workout. I want to put forth my best effort, work hard, take things to failure, and let the rest, let the progression fall where it does. Stay.
Next question comes from JBBI. I think it's how it's said. Have you considered training others?
I did do group training right out of college. I did an internship and then started actually working for a gym where I would train sometimes just one on one, but up to I think the biggest groups I've ever trained were like 20 plus people, maybe even 30 actually, where we just had the whole gym and had like different stations and things like that. So did that for a while, and then when we moved to where we currently are, I did some personal training at a big corporate gym, and just wasn't my favorite. Wasn't my jam, especially when working for a large gym, when you have to abide by certain things that they want you to do. Just not a big fan. So it's something that I am open to doing in the future for sure, especially like online. And that's kind of why I wanted to start putting out some of these videos, is use it as a platform to not really train people, but just give some advice and hopefully help some people out when it comes to this whole fitness thing.
Next question comes from James Z312. Do you track reps and sets these days? Do you worry about progressive overloading?
So I already answered this stuff about the progressive overloading. I don't worry about it. I just let my effort dictate that. As far as tracking reps, no, I don't go into any particular set thinking, hey, I want to hit this amount of reps. Again, I just go into, I want to take this set to failure and work hard. As far as sets go, though, I do have a rough guideline of how many sets I want to do in a given workout in a given week. For the most part, like I said earlier, it's about 9 sets per week for compound movements currently, and anywhere from 2 to maybe the same amount, 9 sets for some isolation movements as well. So sets are a little bit more um, tracked, in my opinion, especially more than reps or just progression overall for me. Do you want to answer that or?
So I track, like, I do rep ranges. So I try to either increase my weight or I'm increasing my reps. So if, like, for some reason I go into the gym one day, like a typical girl, or not the gym, our gym right here, sorry. And I'm like 25 pounds is feeling heavy today, then I try to do a couple extra reps and maybe not add weight. Helps my ego, helps my confidence. So the next question comes from ACG Adventures 90. I think you already answered this, but they asked, have you had to do TRT at all due to your PED use in the past?
Nope, no TRT. Thankfully, my natural production came back.
And then the next question comes from Tony N9Q4Y. If you were trying to build muscle, what changes would you make to your diet? Would you eat more protein, different macro amounts, etc.?
I wouldn't like consciously up my protein. If I was trying to personally gain more muscle, I would just eat more calories, right? So, but by increasing my calories, right? So if I start eating more rice, more oats, more beans, legumes in general, my protein just naturally going to go up as well. So I wouldn't worry about the extra protein. I would just be eating more overall food.
And then Tony also asked, what do you think of partial reps? Are there pros and cons, and have you used them with body weight exercises?
I like doing full range of motion pretty much on everything, but I guess maybe for partials, some things like especially for lower body, I guess you can call it a partial because some exercises I choose not to completely lock out my knees at the top, where I'm keeping kind of that constant tension on my quads. So yeah, I like to do. I guess that would fall under the category of a partial rep, not completely locking out on some of the like body weight squats or even like goblet squats, things like that. But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, I try to use full range of motion just because I enjoy that and it feels good.
Next question is from Joel Braganza 3819. Would like to know about your approach on being vegan. So I can answer this one. So in the beginning, when we were going to the grocery store, it was a game of looking at every single label and just understanding the different things that are animal derived. So it's definitely a learning curve. Our approach for Cody was more so just cut and dry. He went straight to veganism, whereas I don't want to say like flirted with the idea. I was vegetarian and then I went vegan. So for anyone that's considering going plant based, maybe, if you're interested in it, I definitely would, maybe suggest or start by adding in more plant based items into your weekly diet. See how you feel. If you're doing it for health reasons, I would do it for that. If you're more ethical like us, I would continue to educate yourself. There are plenty of resources out there. We talked about Earthlings and Cowspiracy, which is, I think, what made the switch for me that much easier. And if you have any questions, of course, always ask on our videos. We're very open about it. We try not to be preachy. All of our family and friends are not vegan, so that is something that you have to understand when you do become vegan, is that not everybody around you is going to agree with you. And there will be conversations where you're going to have to say, like, we're going to have to agree to disagree, because even though you're not vegan, you don't agree with what I think and what's best for me. I still love you. I still respect you. So it is tough, but it is doable. It's been that way for us for 2 or 3 years. And, we go to work events, we travel for work, and you just have to learn how to navigate it. And I think it also comes with a lot of just loving yourself and loving the animals that are there, and respecting, that not, and understanding not everybody's going to agree with you, just like politics, just like any other subject that humans don't like to agree on. That doesn't mean anything about them personally. It's just, you just have different views.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, it's definitely tough dealing with, because we want we would love for everyone, our
Yeah.
loved ones, and everyone to think the way we do and not participate in
Mhm.
the killing and the eating of animals and animal products. But just like how we, for the majority of our lives, we did that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we came to the realization of what we know now and what we feel now. So everyone's just on their own journey, and some people might never come to that realization. And you just have to, I don't know, roll with the punches and stay grounded and know that um, that we can't change anybody's minds. And so again, like you said, we're not trying to be preachy about it. We're not trying to push it on anybody. With this YouTube channel, we really just wanted to show how we navigate it and like kind of answer this question: what's our approach to it? What do we do as far as like things that we eat, and how we mix it in with our daily lives?
I think one of, also just another last thing I want to add is that, like, because we were not born and raised vegan, when we told our families that we were no longer going to partake in animal derived meals, like at the holidays especially, that has always been, I guess, haunting us, because it's okay, what are you guys going to eat? Well, we're like, we got it, we'll bring our own food. We do have very, very amazing parents who are accommodating, who will buy us our food and have it there for us for those meals. So it does become a learning curve where you just have to be able to be strong in your beliefs and your navigation on, this is what I'm doing, and don't feel bad for doing something that you feel is right. So, next question is from Endo FDD7C. I don't really have a first name there, but what are the pull-up bars called?
Oh yeah. So I've had those for well over 3 years now. Those are made by a company called JFlex. I'm looking up right now because I'm looking at them right now. But made by JFlex, they are called cross grips. If you want to actually get a pair, you can go through the link in the description of this video and the description of our YouTube channel. There's a link there that will take you to their website. And if you purchase anything from the website through that link, you'll get 15% off of anything, including the pull-up grips, because they have other products as well. But I can't talk highly enough about those pull-up grips, the cross grips. They're amazing. I originally got them because they allow for a neutral grip pull-up, which I really wanted. But they're so easy to take down, put up, fold up. I'll actually be able to take them down, fold them up, and put them in my backpack and take them on vacation and take them to the Airbnb with us next week, actually, and get some solid workouts in. So yeah, I can't talk highly enough about those pull-up grips for sure.
Which we're driving, so we don't know if this would come through a checked-in bag or not, but
if you were to fly,
if you were to fly, but if we remember, maybe we'll put that in the description or something.
Yeah, no, I think I've looked that up before, and it says maybe, right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe TSA will let you through with them, maybe not, because obviously they're made out of metal, and I guess technically they could be classified as a like weapon of some sort. But yeah, I've never taken them on a flight and probably won't ever try. But if you're driving somewhere, great for travel.
Yeah. Okay, the next question comes from, I think it's Michael Nelson 4278. Why don't you take creatine?
Well, I actually just started taking creatine, so probably around this question when it was asked, I wasn't.
Yeah, it's
But
like a month ago.
I was getting so many questions about it that, and then we were just walking around Walmart one day, and I saw a tub of like 80 serving creatine monohydrate for like $14. So I was like, why not? I'll give it a shot. I've never really given creatine a real honest shot in the past. I think the last time I even tried taking it was back in high school, maybe. I don't think it's the magic bullet and the end all be all and amazing stuff. So, but I thought I'd give it an honest shot here, and I will report back my findings in a future video, I'm sure, of what I think about it. I've been using it for maybe 3 weeks now at this point, just like 5 grams of monohydrate a day. I've seen some cool videos lately about people talking about the other benefits of creatine besides just muscle when it comes to cognitive abilities and like memory, even mood enhancement and things like that. So I'm sure I'll include those type of findings, if any, that I have after I give it a full, honest review of taking the whole tub. So
The next question comes from Miles, and I think it's Ostigai 4481. My question is about calories and getting as lean as, I'm assuming it's as, so do
probably
I,
you, as
yeah,
you.
do I need to be in a deficit, or is the weight loss also about hormones? Because, yeah.
We talked about it earlier. It is. It's about the calorie deficits, thermodynamics. You've got to be in a deficit over a long period of time to get as lean as you want to get, right? Depending on where your starting point is, you might want to be in a calorie deficit and then maintain your new body weight, and then get another calorie deficit and then maintain your new body weight instead of doing it all in one shot. That's what I did when I was going from 275 down to what I am now. It wasn't just a perfect linear shot downwards, right? It was many losing deficit like diet phases and then maintaining it for a while and then maybe going up a little bit and then losing again. So you've got to be in a calorie deficit. As far as hormones go, I'm not one to get in the weeds on all that stuff. I'm sure they play a role, but nothing as big as just being in a calorie deficit.
Next question comes from Joe Cool 0510. I'm going to kind of summarize this because it is kind of loaded here. So, if let's say you have two people, one that has larger musculature and one that is leaner, um, do you think that there is a difference for those bodies as they were to age?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you probably want a good amount of muscle leading into older age to combat any type of what you would call sarcopenia, muscle wasting. But at the same time, what's most important is continuing to resistance train into old age to combat sarcopenia. So yeah, you definitely don't want to go into getting older super frail already. That's probably not going to be your best bet for longevity.
But I want to add though, because later in the question, Joe mentions something about having a surplus of muscle to overcompensate as you get older. I would say to have muscle that complements your body and your lifestyle. You don't want to be pushing yourself to have so much muscle that you're uncomfortable and your health starts to, I don't want to say deteriorate, but it's just not a healthy weight for you to be at for your height.
Yeah, and
Like,
most people are probably going to fall into that category, right? But some will. But that's a good point.
next question comes from, and I think it's Kashi Krishi 01. What's your take on injuries and injury management? Just for some background, this person is 23. They've been dealing with some wrist and shoulder injuries and tendonitis for about 6 to 8 months now.
So for starters, I am not a doctor or physical therapist. So if you are injured, definitely go to a doctor and get that stuff checked out. But for me in general, this is talking about tendonitis, right?
Yes, they mentioned
So
that they had it.
I would just do your best to, I guess my answer would be do your best to maybe alternate some of your grips and some of your movements every now and then, right? If you're doing a wide overhand pull up every single set of every single workout for months and months on end, you might develop some overuse injuries, right? So if you can alternate and do a neutral grip or a chin up and things like that, you're probably at in a better situation to avoid something like tendonitis. But again, I actually had some really bad tendonitis in my knees back in my college football days, they actually developed into tendinosis. So the only thing that helped me, because I even went through PRP injections, prolotherapy injections to help with the pain in my knees, the tendonitis. The only thing that helped me was to finally just chill out on squats and lower body stuff for a while, and then eventually the pain went away. So you might just need to give it a break, honestly.
Next question comes from Andre Avila 193. Sorry, yeah, 9316. Do you work any accessories like biceps, side delts, and other muscle groups?
Yep, absolutely. So I like to do bicep curls, tricep extension stuff, overhead extensions. So basically, biceps, triceps, and lateral raises are probably my three main accessories that I do. I don't do them every single session, but um, for the most part, I do like to throw in 1 to maybe 3 sets of each of those at the sometimes beginning, sometimes the end of my workouts. But yeah, I do like to do accessories. I enjoy working out and I enjoy doing that stuff. So that keeps me consistent with my training because of the enjoyment factor. And yeah,
Okay, so the next question comes from 1234 Mine Hunter. So they asked quite a few, so I'm going to try to summarize it. Can you explain from your experience and knowledge on strength gains, given you are a powerlifter and you are out trained pretty much?
my experience on a powerlifter as a powerlifter, I don't
Experience and knowledge on strength gains, given
strength
you were
gains.
a powerlifter.
Oh gosh, that could be that's a loaded question. It could be a huge like programming video on. But I guess in general, how I used to program for strength gains back in the day when I was powerlifting. I am a simple guy, as you guys probably know, when it comes to training. So even back then, I just used basically single progression where I would pick a powerlifting meet where I want to peak my strength, work backwards 12, 14, 16 weeks, and start at a higher rep, lower weight, and then just gradually decrease the reps and sometimes sets and increase the weight. And that's what I did. So it's like the most simple form of progression, and that's really what I did.
And then is the minimized training you're doing now enough to maintain your strength, or are you maybe gaining or losing? So I would say for him, yeah, obviously he has lost the muscle that, or not all the muscle, but he's lost some muscle based on what he was doing when he was powerlifting because his style has changed and he's not training for the 1 rep max at a competition and trying to be as big as he can to lift as much as he can. Now he's doing more functional training and not needing to be at such a higher body weight. The next question is, are you still adding weights? So I would assume that's a question of, are you still progressively overloading? And I think you said no earlier, right?
No, I mean I do some weighted pull ups and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
So adding weights,
not like crazy
not like crazy,
amounts.
no, because I work out at home. I don't have a barbell. I'm not slapping on more plates on a barbell every month or week or whatever. But so for the most part, I am using like the same weights from week to week. But I'm making sure every week in every session, I'm pushing myself as hard as I can and going to failure on my set. So that's the way I look at it.
Oh, yeah. So I was getting too confused because it said not sure if you're still tracking your strength in 1 rep maxes. So no, we're not, or you're
No,
not.
definitely not.
Okay, so the next question comes from a Siva, and your username is very long, so hopefully that's enough for you to know that it's you. Can you create mastery videos on how to master the basic movements of calisthenics, including rep, speed, mind muscle connection, breathing, range of motion, intensity, techniques, and form?
Yeah, I'm sure I can for sure. I mean, that's a lot, but that's a lot in that question, and I'm sure I can cover it. I'm not sure I can make a full-on videos on each one of those, but yeah, I'll do my best.
Next question comes from, I think it's Caustic H, or no, sorry, Caustic Him Productions. Where do you sit with your current body weight now? It looks like things are working very well with a balanced lifestyle.
I'm about 176 or 177 right now. I think I was this morning. Actually, I didn't weigh myself this morning. I weighed myself yesterday morning. I think I was 177. So, but yeah, I am eating a little bit more now that I'm coming out of my cut that I did. So I got down to maybe 171, 172 for a while. And now that I've added in a little bit more food, also maybe the creatine with a little bit of water weight, back up to around that 177, 178 mark.
And then last but not least, we have kind of like a speed round of questions from David Jones, 6470. Hi, David. You have been supporting our channel from the very beginning. So he has
Yes.
asked
Thank
us,
you, David. You rock, man.
he's asked us quite a few. So, first one, when did you two first meet? So we first met in person, we met in the fall of 2016. However, we did go to the same college for a year. So we had crossed paths at some point, but we did not know each other on a personal level. We just went to the same college. But it was later on that we met in person. Next question is, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food would be any type of sweet. I'm a big sweets guy, so a vegan yeasted donut, not a cake donut, but a yeasted donut, maybe with like strawberry icing and sprinkles, might be my favorite food of all time. But in general, I love any type of Asian cuisine, so stir fries and things like that.
So mine's probably the same. I really like Japanese food. I enjoy like miso and lots of ramen soup bowls, and I love fried rice, stir fries here and there, but I really enjoy sushi a lot as well. What is your favorite exercise?
If we're talking about like actual movement, then it have to be pull ups. I love pull ups. Those is probably my favorite.
My favorite exercise is a barbell squat. However, I don't do them anymore. So now that I am training at home, I would say probably RDLs. What is your favorite fruit?
Hard to beat a nice juicy watermelon in the summertime. But I guess I eat the most fruit that I eat on a daily basis is like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and bananas. So I guess those would technically be some of my favorites as well. But I think the answer to that would be watermelon.
Mine are cherries,
Ooh, yeah, those
which
are super expensive but delicious.
and you only get them for a short amount of time from where we live. So it's like maybe 2 months you get them, and then they're gone for the rest of the year. So, favorite band?
My favorite band would probably be the Dirty Heads. It's like a southern reggae, or not southern, a Southern California like reggae feel, very similar to Sublime. I've seen the Dirty Heads, I think twice now in person in concert, and
Mm-hmm.
they're amazing. So yeah, definitely check out their music if you like that type of stuff.
So my favorite band's kind of complicated. So I like 311 on most days as my favorite band, but then days that I'm wanting like some grunge rock, it's probably Korn or Alice in Chains. Favorite song?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite song actually. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe like
He sings a lot of Sublime.
yeah, any song by Sublime, like I mentioned earlier, or any song by the Dirty Heads. Honestly, I'm gonna be and it comes on in the car. I'm gonna be belting that for sure. Santeria by
Yeah.
Sublime, anything, or even anything from the late '90s, early 2000s, like alternative rock, Blink 182. Like throw on any of those songs, and it's probably my favorite song in that very moment.
Yeah. Mine is Amber by 311. Favorite movie?
It would have to be so Harry Potter series is both of ours like favorite movies in general. Out of the seven Harry Potter movies there are, my favorite would be The Goblet of Fire, the fourth one.
And mine is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the first one. Favorite beer?
I'm not a big beer drinker at all, but when I do drink beer, it's going to probably be a Miller Lite. That's kind of my family's beer of choice. Or she actually got me into Bush Lights a couple years ago. But I also really like Corona. Honestly, when we go on vacation next week to the beach, I'll probably be sipping on a couple Coronas with a lime.
So if I'm in the St. Louis area or at a bar that has Bud Light Draft, I go with Bud Light Draft. If they don't, my next is Mick Ultra. So that is all of the questions. Again, just saying thank you guys so much for not only supporting our channel, but all of the views, the likes, the subscriptions. That's why we were able to make this video and share some more about us that you don't see in our workout videos or our food videos. If you have made it this far, please comment below any further questions that you have. And if you don't have any questions, please comment the phrase 20K. That is, I think, what we're going to shoot for our next Q&A. Anything you
Yeah,
want to
I just
say?
want to echo this, guys. Like, we didn't start this YouTube channel and thinking like we were gonna get 10,000 subscribers, right? We wanted to put out what we do on a daily, weekly basis in terms of working out at home and following the vegan lifestyle eating that we do, and hopefully maybe either add some, give some inspiration to somebody, give some information in some way, or at the very least just be some form of entertainment, because I and we love watching YouTube. So maybe this can just be a form of entertainment for somebody. So the fact that so many people have, like you said, liked the video, subscribed, and want to see more about what we do, it's been amazing, and it's just wild to think about. So again, just thank you so much for all the support, and we are really looking forward to continuing this like community here that we're starting to build with everybody, and it's just really exciting. So thank you very much.
See you guys later.
See you in the next one.
Bye.